And we'll start here in the UK, with the country confronting a supply chain crisis. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he doesn't want to return Britain to its what he calls broken pre-Brexit economy. Johnson says Britain is currently in a period of adjustment after Brexit and COVID. He's pointing to higher wages and a skilled economy as the long-term solutions.
On Christmas, let me tell you this, Beth, I'll make you a very confident prediction that this Christmas will be considerably better than last Christmas. I'm just telling you, it's going to be much, much better.
Even as the country continues to face a shortage of fuel and goods, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson promised that this year's Christmas would be considerably better than last year's. Johnson, however, did not rule out the possibility of further supply disruptions in the weeks leading up to Christmas.
I think we're going. We have very good. This country leads the world actually in logistics and supply chains. We've got very good supply chains. Where there are issues that we can help with, we'll do everything we can to help. But we are going to see a period in which the global economy, particularly the UK economy, because of the speed of our recovery, is sucking in demand very fast.
Speaking on the opening day of Conservative Party's conference, in a message to the Tory faithful, Johnson vowed to forge ahead with his post-COVID recovery plan to level up growth and tackle priorities from infrastructure to climate change. In Manchester, Boris Johnson was welcomed with protests. Over 2,000 protesters rallied against the Conservatives.
The Tories have put us in a position where we've got to turn out en masse. People need to show up and say, look, these conditions are awful, we need to do better.
We're here today because this government is totally incompetent. People are actually starving, children are hungry. How can that be in this century? How can it be?
Boris Johnson's latest thing about the metrics, you know, and about it doesn't matter how many people die, but the economy is all right, and the economy isn't all right. But they're just awful, a whole lot of them, a complete evil bunch.
In recent months, many companies, including fast food chains, have reported shortages. Shelves at supermarkets also look barren. Britons fear they will not be stocked as usual in the run-up to Christmas. With Brexit, tens of thousands of drivers left United Kingdom, and the pandemic exacerbated the problem. Lack of tanker drivers triggered panic buying at petrol stations. On Sunday, gasoline and diesel shortages persisted in London and southeast England.
You've seen me come every morning with my tank. You've seen me.
On Friday after work, I have to queue in this station for 2 hours and 20 minutes to fill just £35. Then today I have to stop working now and come again before I finish, because when I went to come back, they didn't have petrol.
Well, it's been a really, really awful situation. I personally didn't know this was happening, so I ran out of petrol last Saturday and haven't had petrol since.
22% of forecourts had no fuel available. According to Petrol Retailers Association, elsewhere in Britain, the crisis was virtually at the end, with 6% of forecourts dry. The British Army will help deliver petrol starting today. Some 200 military tanker personnel will be deployed to provide temporary support. The UK government now also faces warnings from farmers that tens of thousands of pigs could be incinerated in the coming days without an urgent influx of foreign abattoir workers and butchers. In an attempt to fight off shortage, the UK government also announced that a total of 5,500 foreign poultry workers will be allowed into the country from late October till December this year.
Nearly every sector in Britain is suffering staff shortages, and it's now down to one factor, but three that has led to the situation. Brexit, global supply chain issues, and of course COVID has essentially created the perfect storm. And a new survey has found more than a quarter of 500 firms surveyed said it was a lack of staff that was putting pressure on their ability to operate at normal levels, with reduced stock due to the resulting supply chain disruption. That's hurting their business. And while some firms are planning to raise prices, and that's leading to concerns over rising inflation. Now, businesses have blamed the pandemic and Brexit for the shortage of overseas workers, with nearly 40% saying a lack of regional talent is hurting their ability to recruit much-needed staff. And many business leaders are calling on the government to help more before their industries go from critical to terminal. Mandy Clark, World This One, WION, London.